Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a Cloudy Sheep and we are playing Fate of the World. Without further ado, let's advance into the year 2085. Ooh dear, oh dear, oh dear. What's going on? So, yeah, apparently the temperature increased by quite a bit, and more importantly the expectation for future temperature increases are also increasing. So, yeah, that's not good. Also we are seeing 0.5 meters of sea level rise. The average sea level has risen by half a meter. Expect increased trouble with coastal areas. Coal production peaks. Again, I'm not that unhappy about this. It's fairly alright if we are using less coal. Right. Annual emissions in China have decreased a little bit. We expected more of a decrease. That's alright then. India is increasing by 7%. We expected it to decrease a little bit less. Middle East is decreasing, so that's good, and South Africa is also decreasing, so all in all pretty alright. I'm dreading this screen though. No, Japan still likes us, North America likes us very much now. Middle East is a bit problematic, and Latin America is starting to go down to be a little bit too low. So here we are. Let's try to get an overview of the news and the situation, especially in the most polluting countries. So global emissions still up, temperature up, so yeah, that's pretty bad. Let's have a look at India and see how things are going. Forestation starts, so that is part of our effort down here to protect the land, soil and forests. That's very good. The air pollution is increasing the sickness, which is of course not that good. You are growing. CCS has been researched. You feel that, on the other hand, our protection of forests is crippling farmers, but you know what, you'll just have to live with that. On the other hand, the emissions are going down and GDP is going up because we have better agronomic practices in India, and that is a fantastic development. Improved manufacturing processes in industry, so that's also good, and that's part of our regulation drive down here. Same with the houses down here. On the other hand, you are experiencing water stress. Your technology is really low. And industry is polluting. So that is a problem, and more cancer. So on the other hand, you're fairly stable, you're pretty happy, you're peaceful. Your HDI is coming up, I feel, right? Isn't it? Pretty significantly actually over the last 30 years, so that is a very nice development. And also your income is still perfectly alright, so I'm pretty happy about this. I think we want to acquire more of these technologies, specifically concentrated voltaic cells, I think, and there should be some potential down here for renewables, isn't there? Yeah, it's a massive potential. We are not tapping that, so let's make sure that we are acquiring 4th generation nuclear, and I think that's going to be alright. How much money are you actually contributing to our funding? But now it should be significant. Yeah, 200. Probably one of the biggest contributors. So we could think about acquiring quantum computing as well, but I think for now we'll refrain from that a little bit. Your pollutions are still coming from the industry. We are trying to combat that mainly through these things down there. All in all, I think you're fine. We don't want to encourage private investment. We are pretty happy if you don't grow much too quickly, so I'm happy about that. I think we can improve the coast defenses over here, since we did get the message that is an important factor. You're still part of the cap and trade arrangement, you are protecting your soils. All of this seems to be going pretty well, so I'm happy about this. Let's switch over to Southern Africa, a stable country. Let's look at the news. You are growing, industry emissions are going down, so that's very lovely. And we are now at balanced, so I think we can also switch out the eco-awareness. Water is an issue, sickness is an issue, but drives in all industry areas, so that's very, very good. So again, these types of cards are helping us out a lot over here, so very, very lovely to see. Did I say something about the water level? No, it was just contaminated. It's not necessarily that bad. How's your sickness down here? It's 0%. You're extremely happy. You're just extremely happy bunnies down here. So good to see. Do we want to acquire new technology over here? I think we probably want to, right? Probably carbon. So this way over here, so to get a couple of photovoltaic cells, I think would also be good. So let's acquire CCS, and that should be a nice change. Can we do anything to help you economically? I think a one-child policy for a couple of turns might be nice over here. Speaking of one-child policy, I think in Southeast Asia things should be looking up well. Yeah, carbon cash is being put to good use. You're a bit frustrated that we are protecting your forests, but I still think that's a very good change for now. Yeah, everything seems to be going well. Let's have a brief look at the population because I don't want to reduce it too much, but you know, it's coming down a little bit, which I feel is fine. We don't need to grow the population everywhere, and all in all that seems fine. How are your emissions looking? Are they coming down at least a little bit? I hope they are. Not really. A little bit less energy use. Industry is somewhat stable. Transport is actually pretty high down here. Alright. Good. I think the Middle East is one of the most important ones. It's a very unstable country. Aerosol engineering acquired. Deforestation is slowing down. That's good to see. Contaminated water table. Unemployment is going down. Oh, sorry about the news down there. Less sunshine. All of this is going on well, though. Less stability. But our emissions have been slashed, so that's good to see. Can we produce anything else? I don't think so. But yeah, your emissions are coming down, I feel. But not really enough. Energy usage. It's not coming down quite as quickly as I would have loved to see. Do you have enough money? Yeah, you do, so we should be able to play these cards if they were still available. So we did everything we can in terms of saving energy, apparently. How do you use energy? Or how do you generate energy, I should say? Oil and coal? Yeah, that's not very helpful then. I think we should get advanced turbines and carbon capture. It's expensive, but it's gonna help out over time. And because you're very unstable, we need to provide security assistance. And you know what? I think I would like you to be a little bit more eco-aware. You're one of the, on the other hand, you know, you're one of the two countries or two regions where we are strongly drilling. So maybe let's not do that for now. Could acquire super tensile materials, could acquire quantum computing. So I think that would be good for you guys, but what else are you really using your missions for? Transport is very low, industry is somewhat significant because you're using a lot of oil. Yeah, I mean you're producing oil regionally, so it does sort of make sense to do that, but I'm not necessarily too happy about that. Let's do higher education. I think that's an alright choice, but really we need to provide a better contentment, better outlook for you over the long term. We did deal with South Asia, I think. Did we not? Yeah. Let's deal with North Africa then. Things seem to be going really well over here. Drought has been provided, and we provided some reservations. That's good to see. Ooh. Northern Africa benefits from schemes failings. Dude, North Africa is benefiting as global corporations and investors relocate their activities to escape stringent emission caps. So we should probably introduce that over here as well. So yeah, I think that's important. Private investment is commencing over here. I think we don't need to do that. I think we probably have exceeded our 12,000 GDP goal. So let's have a look over here and withdraw the private investment support. Let's get a new card as well, and also subscribe you to cap and trade emissions, and I think that should be alright. And you know what? Next term we'll introduce the industrial carbon regs. I think we don't need to do this right now. Probably after this card has expired. I think that's going to be an alright choice. Right, let's turn our attention to... Let's do Latin America first. You're unstable, that's of course not good, but you did research CCS. That's a good first move. Vegetarian revolution is starting to work out fine. You've actually met your targets under the deforestation initiative, so that too is very nice. Should we really acquire more technology? This you'll get in 5 years anyway. Advanced turbines would be nice, wouldn't they? Do you have any potential for that? Let's have a look at renewables. Wind potential is massive, so yeah, I think that might be nice. I'd also maybe like you to subscribe to the cap and trade emission scheme, because it is important that we are doing that somewhat consistently. You do get that automatically. Let's acquire more technology though, so I think that's fine. China then, how's the economy coming along? Second generation biofuels, you sign up to the carbon trading and will be the recipient of green technology. Okay, that's good then. Anti-drought efforts are working out fine. Meters get smart, that's good. And second generation biofuel. So plus 10% crop expansion, biofuel produces more fuel, plus 300% biofuel capacity. Okay, that's good. How's the economy coming along? I really want to know that. So the total GDP in China is coming up again. Good. Although I think the expansion mainly happens in commerce. So that's alright. And how does it look in terms of emissions? It's probably bumping up a little again. No, you know what? You seem to be doing fine. Right, let's have a look at the technology. I would like to get the high yield crops down here because this is one of the areas with the highest agricultural output. So let's acquire that. All of this is fine. You are committing to renewables. I'd like to see how that plays out for you right now. So let's have a look at the electricity. Ooh, renewables 50% mix. It's good to see. How does that come along over time? Very, very nicely. Solar, hydro, biomass. Good stuff. We could potentially switch you over to industrials. I don't think we need to. One child policy, we don't need to do that. You are already communal, so that's fine. We have adaptations, we have good farming. So I'm very pleased with how things are going over here. We might not actually need the last bit over here. Could do coal-free industry. Let's do it. I don't want to have too little coal, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. Right, that leaves us with Russia, which is stable right now. That's good to see. You're a consumerist, advanced turbines research, so that's good. You're experiencing drought though, which is not quite as good. Quantum computing is very nice. Super tensile materials, yeah, you are really advancing in technology. I think we really pushed you. Photovoltaic cells, you'll do that in 3 years, so that's also very, very nice to see. Don't necessarily want this you'll get automatically. So yeah, you're doing pretty well. Let's sign you up to carbon trading, and let's maybe even push you towards renewables. I think you might have some potential there, and probably your emissions do come from mostly the energy department, and the energy is indeed gas, coal and all of that. So I think increasing the oil mix over here would be really important. Eco-awareness is good. Expand natural gas, I would like to see that increased as well. Jumping over to the traditional developed world, by the beginning of the game, by now this has a lot less meaning. Geoengineering tech is booming, that's good to see. You have met these considerations, so that's good to see. We are at 100% renewable energy mix. Excellent, excellent choices. I think we can introduce the Tobin tax here, and we can probably also... Late retirement might be a choice. Eco-awareness. We could slowly grow into that area. I think we'll keep the oil on for now. Switch to bio-organic farming. Less oil usage. Could do coal-free industry. I think it's gonna finish next turn, but still I would like to see that just be out of the way. Europe. Afforestation, good. You researched that I don't like to see necessarily. Improved manufacturing resources. Clever mining starts. Don't want to do Tobin tax. Vegetarian revolution would be alright. I mean, your emissions are so low anyway. But let's buy a new slot. Let's think about buying more technology. This is gonna be researched in 2 years anyway, so I don't think it's necessarily required. But what I want to do then is commit you to renewables. Oh, we're doing that already. You know what? Then let's do the vegetarian revolution in Europe. I think that's gonna be alright. Oceania, how are you doing? Drought. Joblessness is really high. Multiple wildfires. That's not good. Tobin tax, yeah, still strong tech advances, meeting your obligations. So I think what we do need to do is job sharing initiative, because your joblessness is apparently very high, above 20%. Sick people are alright. HDI is really good though, so I think these things are alright. You're still deploying sulfate, so that too is okay. Last one I want to check really is Japan. Let's look at the news. Wildfire, sunshine, improved manufacturing, all of this is very nice. Peace reigns. Nothing to worry about over here. Can we do something about the wildfires? I think we got all the defenses that we can. Yeah, so not much we can do. China, everything seems to be alright. You are acquiring the high yield crops. India, you're fine. Lots of stuff happening in Southern Africa, so I think might make sense to expand our presence in other places then. Where do we have comparatively few people? Latin America maybe? Which is unstable. Or the very unstable far Middle East. Let's get the Middle East and let's sign it up to cap and trade. That's fine. We still have a lot of money left. North America, you are not running the Tobin tax. You are running the Tobin tax. China, I think you're fine. Japan, it's fine if we keep on running that for a little while. Oceania. You know what, let's go to North Africa then and acquire a couple of technologies. I think smart grid's probably a very good idea to start out on this. Likewise in Latin America, this is going to be achieved very soon. I think we could do super tensile materials or quantum computing or aerosols. I know we are crying with that already, so that I'm perfectly fine with. Let's do a commitment to renewables then. And you know what, with all of this money left, I think we are going to go over to Europe over here, switch out of the vegetarian revolution and bid for the GEO headquarters. So that will unlock global policies. We can only have one. We should really not be banned from the place where that is going on. But I think Europe has done fairly well. Not actually quite as well as North America, But then again, North America is consumerist, and I would like the geo headquarters to be in a place that maybe isn't. So yeah, I think that's alright. We do have quite a bit of money left over, but I don't think we need to squeeze anything anywhere into any of these places. So yeah, I'm pretty happy to take the round, and let's take to the next turn over here. Temperatures are going up, but expected temperatures are coming down, so that's good to see. First generation nanotech breakthrough, so that's very nice as well, and that is allowing North America to assemble certain things. Also super smart grids breakthrough, that's good to see. And here we have the global geo headquarters, and the Europeans feel very smug about that. Indian emissions increasing. Ooh, Chinese emissions increasing by a lot. That's not good. How do people like us? A little bit. Japan is dropping a little bit, but all in all it seems to be fine. Latin America needs some love. So yeah, here we go. Let's actually look at Europe first, because we now have the global geo headquarters over here, and we can run a couple of global things, like the International Climate Refugee Treaty, which I'm not going to use. I think we should really strive to keep the world livable on a whole. We can do the International Space Program, which is cool because it's space, and that would be very lovely. So you know what, I think that's something that I would like to do anyway. Let's briefly look at the news over here. So yeah, forestation is alright. Yeah, you're still buying that. You're heading in the right direction, tech is booming. Drought is increasing, that's not good. Less sunshine. Good. But I think all of these things are still worthwhile to have. Space program is very expensive, so we might not be able to sustain that. But for now, I think that's all right. Ooh, first generation nanotech. Will Europe build artificial trees and biodomes and produce synthetic materials? Synthetic materials uses a lot of energy. So let's have a look at North America due to these very interesting developments of first generation nanotechnology. And coal is no longer used in industry, that's very lovely to see. And didn't we get another technology? Oh, super smart grids. So that too is very nice, because all sectors have lower energy usage, lower residential energy usage, renewables growth potential is maxed. So yeah, this is really, really great. So the storms of course aren't, and the objection to the Tobin tax are not that great either, but you know, all in all we seem to be doing fine over here. What other technologies are available? Artificial intelligence and second generation nanotech. We are unlikely to reach those in the remaining time of the game, but I still want to keep them going just sort of because it feels like it's the right thing to do. Now we could build artificial biomes or establish them. It would run forever, so it needs to be an active technology, but while that happens there's a lot less chance for extinction, but I don't think it's worthwhile to block a slot for that. Artificial trees on the other hand would also be very nice. They are a direct mass construction of carbon absorbing installations in North America. These will greatly mitigate our carbon emissions. It would reduce emissions by 2,400 per ton, which would actually put us into the negatives, and that would be so nice. So I think that would be actually one of the most important things that we could do. The other alternatives over here are synthetic live feedstocks. So agricultural industry I think it should say no longer needs oil and gas, but it requires much more energy per oil and gas. So if we have a look over here, we can see that the emissions that are still there to some extent come from the industry, and the industry uses various forms of energy. This energy is fine, this is not accounted for, but all of this, specifically the oil and the water, the oil and gas, and this is increasing the emissions that we are seeing. I think it doesn't really say that, but these emissions over here, yeah, these do come from oil and gas use. So that would be nice. And the same holds for the agriculture. So let's briefly look at that. Agriculture is using oil and gas as well. Now the flip side is that they would use energy, but energy on the other hand over here in North America is mainly coming from renewables. So that is actually a very, very interesting choice that we could make over here. But yeah, for now I think we'll be fine. I think the artificial trees are maybe the more interesting choice. And you know, people will like it. So let's maybe get rid of the expanded oil production and on the other hand use the taxation over here. Can we not do that? Oh no, we are already, so yeah, not something that we can do now. Synthetic feedstocks. It would be a nice shift, it would be a nice fix, but I don't think we need to do that right now. But on the other hand, what else are we going to do in North America? So let's go ahead, implement that, and then we can commit to renewables later on. Good. By the way, in Europe, let's briefly look at acquiring... Oh, you don't even have quantum computing. But you're going to get that in 4 years, so that's fine, I think. Right, North America. Extremely happy about that. Let's get to the polluters. So let's get down to India over here. As you can see, of course, not great news. Fourth generation nuclear is researched. That's good. More afforestation. Cancer, so sickness is going up. Industrial emissions are going down though. Agriculture is going down a little bit. Water stress. Disease. Limited investment in low carbon development. So a little bit more literacy, a little bit more healthcare spending. So we are receiving some investments, which is good. And Metis Get Smart. Also very nice to see. Organic restoration. Yeah, so GDP is going down, but emissions as well. This is just agricultural GDP, of course. And peace is reigning, so you're very stable and happy. I like to see that. Let's briefly look at the technology over here. So photovoltaic cells, I think 20 years we should accelerate that, and that'd be that. And I think quantum computing into super smart grids would also be very nice. So definitely acquire this. Let's acquire quantum computing, and that I think is very nice. Again, sorry about the Steam pop-ups. I need to switch that out at some point. How's your health situation like though? It's not that bad. I think we are investing so much into healthcare down here that it is basically counteracted by that. Okay, another polluter, Southern Africa. Climate refugee, so that's not nice to see, but you are very stable and actually joyous. I don't think I've ever seen that. It's going surprisingly well, I have to say. This is actually a very hard game. And I've managed to kill so many people by doing bad things. So all in all, pretty good news from South Africa down here. So not much that we need to be aware of when placing our cards. We could acquire super smart grids, which would reduce the energy use in all sectors and maximize the potential for expansion for renewables. So given that you probably are using a lot of your emissions do come from the energy production, don't they? Yeah, they do. Because you're still using coal? Oh dear, that's not good, yeah. Let's acquire super smart grids and let's get you off that coal, man. That's really not great. We are going to acquire 4th generation nuclear anyway. But yeah, we really need to decline the use of coal power here in South Africa. Yeah, but all other things I very much like, especially the reduction in energy usage through these things. Protect land and soil is also very nice. Let's have a look at the unstable Middle East. Advanced turbines is good. Croplands management is very good. Deforestation is slowed. So all of these things are nice. You're experiencing water stress, which isn't that great. You're trying to get emissions down. So yeah, let's try to help you out on that one. I think you need more technology. What do we have? 4th generation nuclear, you're gonna get that next turn anyway. Quantum computing, you wouldn't. So I think quantum computing into super smart grids would be a very good choice for you. And maybe super tensile materials. 20 turns. I think that's fine. I mean, it would increase our capital growth, but all in all, I'm pretty amended that this should be a good choice for you. We don't want to encourage private investment, but let's commit to renewables. I think that's a good first move down here. Biochar, wildlife conservation. I think you're doing alright, all in all. I mean, your emissions are coming down, so I'm happy about that. And you know what? I think we could do... Oh, you're actually experiencing low population growth anyway, so we don't need to address that. Biofuels, though. Charcoal. Wildlife against their wishes. No, I think all in all we seem to be doing fine. Your water stress, how's that? It's pretty high. Could use... Yeah, let's discourage meat production. I think that's gonna lead to a little bit better situation. Briefly just gonna pop into China, read their news. No waste, yes, all of this is fine. Coal no longer used in industry, that's very good. You have researched high yield crops, so I'm very happy about that as well. You're making some limited investments in low carb development, so that's also very good. Let's get over here. Can we not acquire high yield crop strains? Yeah, there we go. So your agriculture situation is going to improve even further, and I'm very happy about that. And in terms of technology, I think super smart grids are the way to go. I mean, we are trying to commit to renewables. The emissions here are still significant, specifically from the energy sector, and that is because, are you not fulfilling your import requests? Yes, energy sector demands outpaces supply, so let's get super smart grids to reduce our energy use, and I'd be very happy if that could work out alright. We are over time, so I think for once I'll have to cut this in the middle of a turn, and we'll have to think about the other nations in the beginning of the next turn. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.